Hello, hi. Are you feeling some of the Mercury retrograde shadow already? That's what this video is about. Hi, I'm Patricia. Welcome to my channel. I'm located in Chicago, Illinois, where it is frigid. Not complaining. I know there's places colder than this, but hey, spring is coming, right? So that's what we're here to talk about. Making fresh starts for a new season and how this Mercury retrograde shadow period and topics for twin flames. Now, you may feel some of you through your body, you go into the shadow and it feels depressing. You feel lackluster, you feel listless, you feel like there's no enthusiasm, and your life is going on sort of ad infinitum in this same old way. Au contraire, it's up to you to make some change, but what would be the best department of your life to make some of these changes? Now, let me tell you about this Mercury. This is in a fire sign, and let me tell you, things have been crashing. It is fiery and icy and motivating for people. It's also fearful. This is creating anxiety for people. But I want to tell you, while you might see things in a broader scope, there are times when you have to narrow your focus and put it on you. Because if you can't make changes, nothing will change. If enough of us start making changes, we start toting the load in the proper direction. If enough people are using their light bodies and their energetic force of love to create positive stuff, it starts to move. It dislodges old stuff, old gunk. That doesn't mean it's not going to come up. It comes up to be dealt with. The negligence, a lot of trust issues. Who can you trust? You get on a public bus, you trust that the driver has passed their license. You're trusting that they're not intoxicated. You're trusting that they didn't have a domestic quarrel and they didn't bring that to work with them. You're trusting that they know the rules of the road. You're trusting that they won't miss your stop. Like, there's a lot of trust we all put in each other just to get through our day in and day out days. And there are people, of course, who break the trust, and there's people who break it continually, and yet, like good little doobies, we trust again and again. How do you rebuild trust? Well, we just talked about that in my class we just had on the weekend. You rebuild it with 5D love because you're not putting it in humans per se that can fail, that have character flaws, that have failings, that have things going on in their own lives. But you have to, because what you're trusting is there is a higher hand guiding them. Do you trust equipment, metals, things that corrode, break down? Yeah, to an extent you do, because where your trust actually is in that higher level, your next realm, where it's watching you, protecting you, and it's not going to happen to you. It may still happen because negligence and repairs and maintenance, that is something that needs to be attended to right here at this level. This ecosystem is designed for things to break down and be returned to their elements. But that doesn't always mean it can't be kept up with and maintained, right? So this is what happens, and people look around and go, where's the money for that? Where's the money for this or that? Okay? Illness costs a lot. Danger costs a lot. Tragedy costs a lot. If you put that into focus for yourself, you tell yourself, I'm here to be in love. I'm here to be a lover. I have to set up my life properly. I can't let everything be a crisis. I need to be able to trust that I am like being leveled up at a level that is suitable for me because I'm doing work. I've done and am doing work to raise my vibration and hence raise the vibe of the planet. Raising the vibe of the planet, let's be straight up. It's fun to go to the pyramids, but frankly, the pyramids serve their purpose, and you have to create this in your own life. So what are some of these topics of where to focus? You're doing your side. Now remember your twin flame, okay? Even if you get confused, your twin flame. That means there's two energies. But you get to use the energy, and here's the recommendation. Your side of and for your life. What's going wrong in your life? Let's talk about it, okay? What would you like to address? What would you like to fix? What needs maintaining? What could be better? What are the things that, have had a negative effect on you? Is it stuff that you've inherited from ancestors? Is it mindsets? Is it mentalities? Is it beliefs? Okay. One of the things that came up in the webinar was limiting beliefs, but what actually does that mean? One of the things it should not mean is that you're limiting your own self by saying, I don't have a higher power, I don't have a higher self, I have no etheric body, I have no new connections, I have no connections to 5D, I don't know why I was activated, I don't know why I was woken. See, you were waked up on purpose, not to be woke, but to be prepared for being in love, to be creative, to be put back into health, to not be unwell. Love means you're not supposed to be unwell to be in love. Nor are you expected to be an aged person and be like, finally we've met each other. You're here for something very real. In fact, more and more it should get to be the realest thing in your entire life. This is the meeting place. This is the hospital. This is the healing center, amongst other healing centers. So, your life, can you change one thing, just one thing in your life? What would you wish that to be? What is it? Is it something to have to do with your health? Is it some other aspect of your life? Okay. All these things have to revolve around you. It has to be like this, where you're the center of attention and not everything else. Now, it is very easy for people to get distracted. People focus on other people's problems because you have a perspective and you're like, oh, I can see what the problem is. I'm just going to give them a message, or I'm going to give them advice, or I'm going to be like, I know what's what. And then what happens? You don't focus on your life. You've amounted to a distraction there, and you've squandered some of your time. What about when it's other people fighting for everyone, right? But to no avail. Really, because you haven't changed the laws. You haven't influenced the congressperson. You didn't go out and get a petition. You're just out there stirring up energy, but that energy doesn't know where to go. It's not funneled into a solution. It's chaotic. So for every energy or every topic that comes up, it needs to be focused into, this is the first part of the solution. This is the next part. Maybe it has to be done in steps. So on a larger scale, yes, many steps. Okay? We're in a revolutionary time, right? And yet people are exhausted. And this is what some of this energy is. It's like the battle was won, okay, by someone, but they're equally exhausted. They don't even know what they've really won, And that's a really hard thing. A lot of the things that you're fighting for your side of and for your life is bad blood in the past. Really bad blood. Things that have happened that you had, really talk about limits. You had absolutely no control over, nothing to say about it. So So then, when you're changing one thing, this creates a ripple effect. You know, those small little, like throwing a pebble in, okay? But you throw in 100 pebbles, guess what happens? You've raised the water. You've actually raised something up. You change one thing. Now, here is also in this energy of Mercury retrograde, pushing you back for a review. This is not to trip you up, but I will say this. Be a little cautious about the steps you're taking. Okay, pause. That doesn't mean be leery or be anxious. It means be aware. Be cautious in a sense of be aware of, you know, are there consequences? Are there different ways to look at it? Is it right for you? How does it feel? Pause with it a moment, okay? This is always good in Mercury to, you know, really review certain contracts. Are you changing something? Is it a legal thing that you have to sign? Pause with it a moment if you're not sure. If you have that big, warm, glowy feeling in your heart and you feel like, I'm going to go for it, that's what you go by. The feeling in your heart, not your head being stubborn and bulldozing through and trying to power through things. You cannot do that with this energy. There is not a good reason to power through. You need to do things step by step, which is why this shadowy period, it's happening a little bit ahead of time. The past 2 months at the full moon lunation, especially for females, you should have felt a lot of your femaleness coming up from your lower chakras, aspects of childbirth, your creativity, how it was, like how uncomfortable some of this was. Being an elder woman, yeah, and for men too, because sorry, men are not escaping this process. It is a process that we progress through. So, stop dragging half-assed things with you, okay? If that's a relationship, if that's like a credit card or an insurance company or something that you just like can't see how to break up with them. We want to talk about how to do a breakup, a proper breakup where it's gracious, it's graceful, you're wishing the best for everybody concerned. But sometimes it's necessary, okay? Are those things serving you? If something that's giving you halfway, is it a relationship? Why are you dragging it with you? Just so you could have another person there who isn't giving you the time of day, who really doesn't care, who is cheating on you? A lot of people find out that they're cheating on them, okay? And there's some really deep-seated stuff with that. But it's upsetting, it's hurtful, it's painful. We don't want to bring that forward either. We want you to heal from it. So things that we're changing, and this precedes some of the Venus retrograde we are going to have, which will get even more specific and deeper. Family, aspects of family, and money. Okay? Now, you'll also have relevant dreams that are really, really weird, okay? And I love to do dream interpretation. We talk about dreams in my webinars, in my workshops, in people's sessions. That's how weird it gets sometimes. It bears some interpretation, but there's a feel to a dream. So when you join us, if you want to share your dream, I will interpret the dream and pose questions to you, but it usually points, however, I will always say to the person, what was the tone of the dream? How did it feel? Did it feel friendly? Did it feel ominous? You know, what was the general scene? What was the atmosphere like, right? Because some people get focused on one detail, but they're not looking at the scope of the dream, because relevant can also mean it's pertinent to right now. It can be revealing something you can't see in your waking life. And it's to help you. There is a part of you, a side of you, there are organs inside here that let you dream, let you see it, and try to assist you to interpret it. But if it's hung up in the past, it may be very, very confusing. So I am doing a 2-day mini workshop, either an evening time or a morning time. It is a transformational price, and it would be either Wednesday and Thursday, the February 26th, 27th in the evening. So if you're in the West Coast, if you're in India, if you're in areas like Australia, Samoa, Guam, Japan, Korea, okay, because I've talked to people, if you speak English, I can pick up the vibe of your language and we can connect, but this is conducted in English, just to mention that, okay, in the evening. Or do you work towards the evening and this would work for you after work? That's why I'm having this at that time, to help people who can't do this during their work day or their weekend. And I have a weekend time. This is March 1st, Saturday and Sunday, 9 to 10:30 a.m. We're going to do a 2-day workshop surrounding this energy, about this energy, with specifics for family and money. Here's what we do. I do usually have a presentation, possibly a handout, and we do live Q&A where you get to ask questions. You can hear other people share. It is a safe space. You don't have to have your camera on. I do record. I send the recordings in case you have to leave. And I do get you focused on your light body, because that is the most expedient and efficient. So talk about money. Most efficient way to do this. How many years of therapy would it take you to do some family stuff? Okay? But what if your light body makes it efficient for you as the leader to get this stuff rolling? What if the topic really is addiction, which runs in a family and eats up money or other resources, health, family relationships, children affected by those things? You see where I'm going with this? There are interrelated topics that are tied to this, because if these things aren't stable, okay, it will actually take you a little bit longer. These are things that you should also look at every time a season is going to change. Now we're doing this right in the death throes of some old energy, because by the equinox, you're supposed to be on a catapult. So let me tell you, for those of you that like cards, okay, the 5 of Swords, okay, there's been a victory, there's been a defeat, you're on one side or the other, or it feels like that, you feel like, are you losing? But what did you really lose? What are you losing? And where can you do a fresh start? Okay, where can you get rid of the bad blood that maybe your people could not recover from? And I'll give you another card too. The 8s, okay? That actually should be the 8 of Swords, which is bondage. What is holding you bonded, binded, limited? You know the picture. It's the woman with the blindfold surrounded by these swords, and yet right in front of her, it's wide open, and she can't even see it because of all the things holding her back. She feels trapped and sort of like tied in, except she can walk right out, okay? Easier said than done. Easier said than done, because some of this stuff, what if it has to do with divorce? What if you're like, oh my God, I'm a twin flame. I know this, I recognize it, but I can't see my way out of it. I can't see how to get out of what I'm already bonded to. And it gets really difficult, because you may have stood up in front of family and friends and said vows, and then you might not feel okay about that. But from a soul level, your soul is saying, I'm here to support you. You can do this in baby steps. It has to start energetically first. First and foremost, energetic, which is why people will sometimes have dreams that are really weird. Okay, I'm going to give you another little food for thought here also. How sick do you want to go into old age gracefully, or in love and feel youthful? Because really take a look around. Sometimes, I mean, I'm sorry, I can't help but see sometimes how other people, you know, the things that pop up from their family, sometimes they cannot help it. What if you're stuck with someone who is a drinker? And it's like, well, they've been social drinking, but now it's like 60 years of social drinking. You think they're going to wet the bed? And there you are, and you've got to clean up the mess, or they lose their motor skills because of neuropathy, or their foot or their hand slips while they're driving because of the shakes or the neuropathy. This stuff happens. It's for real, okay? This is why this is very fiery energy. It's fire and ice, and the fire is to burn things off. It's to like burn it to the ground, start from scratch, because that's when all of the weaknesses, the chinks, the deferred maintenance, that's when it really shows up. For people, this can heal. Neuropathy can be healed. Motor skills can be redeveloped. Okay, people can repair, people can get healthier, people can quit their stuff, people can stop squandering things. Okay, so these are things that I think if you really look into it, you know, this is sort of a blessing in disguise to sometimes have this energy, even though it can be depressing, even though you can feel like, oh my God, now what do I have to work on? You'd be surprised how one baby step starts to make you feel like you're on a people mover at the airport. It just starts flowing for you. That has happened to me, and these are things that are able to be identified. So we do a higher self and a twin flame meditation to put you in touch with that level that is looking out for you, for your side of your life, because this is about you, and you have to be like me. It's all about you. Make it about you, okay? Don't make it about when that Jamalka is going to show up, or when, you know, this person is going to show up, then everything is hunky-dory. You get doing it ahead of time, because you got to feel calm. You have to feel loved. You have to feel supported. You have to be stabilized. And did I mention you have to feel loved? Loved. And not just from 5D. This isn't some 3D thing. So thanks so much for watching. Please look at the link down below for the description to join my mini workshop. Have a good day. Bye.